Hey, how you doing? This is Adam over at Cape Cod Microgreens. Today is Thursday, January 17th, and I'm just doing a video today to go over one of my favorites, and that's cilantro. It's one of those products that if you can get it right, a lot of chefs love it. It's got a lot of nice flavor, and it also has a really nice aroma to it that chefs love. And you know, if you like chopped cilantro in the adult form, you'll definitely love it as a microgreen, and it's definitely a revenue enhancement to your mix. I use a variety from Kitazawa Seed Company. It's called Long Standing, and the seed is split, because you know the seeds in the round form can produce two plants, so the split seed actually works both. I get less seed hulls and don't have to deal with that when I come to harvest, and it doesn't have the problem that some of them not seeding correctly because one plant might pull the other one out of the ground. So I'll just get to it, and we will go ahead and get started. As you can see here, this is the finished product. This is now 17, 18, 19 days old from germination, and I'll just close up on there right now. See, there's just a few little seed holes in there, but I have quite a few of the true leaves you know, poking through, so it gives that sexier look that a lot of chefs are looking for, and that's, you know, that's a good place to kind of aim for, at least in my opinion. Okay, so let's get started with the seed process. The soil I use is right here. It's called Happy Frog. It's by, I believe, Fox Farm. I came upon this brand just because when I started, I actually was doing a lot of hydroponics and aquaponics, and I made quite a few trips to the Aqua Farm store, which is, you know, they sell most of their stuff is for, you know, growing pot, which as you know, now in Massachusetts is legal, and it's also a good price. I think you know, I get this now from the local Agway, and they sell it for about $15.99 a bag. It's all organic. It's got a lot of the you know, organic stuff in there, and I just take that and I have a big bag of perlite here. It already has some perlite in there, but I like to add at least 4 of these scoops more. Man, that's dusty. It gives it a lot more, you know, aeration. You know, it being January, there's not a real big problem with damping out. But this definitely, you know, once it gets down, you know, it's the summertime, and on Cape Cod, we get, I mean, the dew point is as nasty around here, southern Florida, especially in the spring. It's a little bit better in the summer, but it's still pretty damp. All right, so now we've got our seed here, and I'm not claiming to take claim to where I got this from. I actually learned this technique from John Dowie at Dowie Farm, and he has a site and page. He does a lot of videos, and he has an online store as well. So I mean, if you see this video, why don't you click on Find Dowie Farms, and he does sell some good trays. I've bought them. They're on his Amazon store, and they do hold up quite well. A lot better than the stuff you get at the store at the garden center. Sometimes they're really flimsy. So as you can see here, these seeds are, I've soaked them. I started these on the 12th, so today's the 17th. So it's 5 days ago. I soaked them in warm water with hydrogen peroxide for about 6 to 8 hours, about 8 hours. Drained them, rinsed them again, covered them up. Then yesterday, which would have been day 4, you could start seeing the little bits of germination coming from the seeds. I gave them another bath in hydrogen peroxide, and at that stage, I mean, they really foam up. So I mean, they look really clean. They got the roots started on there. And another great thing, I mean, is when, you know, a lot of people say, you know, do it dry, you know, plant dry. But I saw this system he was using, and as you can see in other shots in the video, I mean, I don't have problems with damping out. I have very limited issues with seed holes, so I'm just going with it and just there. And I think, I did 4 cups of seed. I don't do anything in grams. I don't know, they freak me out. But this is what, 28 ounces right now, wet. It was about 4 of these plastic cups filled and into one of these fun cake pans, or my pound cake pan. So again, this is what I use to grow in. They're still something washing. They're 25 cents a piece. I get them at the Ocean State Job Lot. They're 8x8 disposable cake pans. They're 25 cents a piece. I love them because they're super easy to clean. You spray them out, you give them a little bit of a quick dunk in the bleach water solution, and they don't have that scummy residue all over them the way that what happens with the black plastic trays. They never seem to get clean. And these are pea seeds, pea tendrils. Every shelf I do is I do 10, right? I do 10 of these 8x8s. What I find is they clean nicely and easy. And when you put them on the shelf, I find when I have difficulty in my growing, when I'm having issues, especially in the summer with damping off, I keep damping out, what ends up happening is it isolates the issue. As you know, with damping off, what happens is, I mean, you see a little bit of it. Sometimes you try to pull out like a chunk of your tray, try to save it. Just to inevitably find out that, you know, it just keeps going and going and going, and eventually will infect your entire 10-20 tray. And then you have to throw the whole thing out. And then you're mad because you just wasted, you know, sometimes when it comes to amaranth, you don't even find that problem out. That problem doesn't even come up until, you know, day 20. And on day 21, you know, you have to sell it. Can't sell it anymore because you just had damping off on it. If you got one of these, you have damping off, you can inoculate, or you can, you know, cordon off, the air. You can You just, you know, you're only, because they're separated, you're growing on a whole rack, you only might lose one instead of an entire bunch. I just use my Scotch sprayer here. And we're just going to go along and generally this amount of seed is going to get me about 20 or well 25 to 30. So that would be 3 shelves of this seeded trays. And of course I'm not spreading them all that well because I have a camera on me. And next, some people cover theirs with perlite. I do mouse soil. Because it's like, why do you need to go buy more products? You know, it's like soil and seed. And, you know, there's good margins in microgreens. But, you know, you start going down the rabbit hole buying all this stuff, and it can get away from you pretty quick. You know, before you know it, you're looking at your expenses and you're like, what the heck, I just spent, you know, like 400 bucks this month on stuff. And you're like, you know, I was really hoping to have a little bit more money in my pocket at the end of the month after I got my invoices in. And, you know, at the end of the day, you still have to make a buck. Well, hopefully more than a buck. You know, as of right now, this is what I'm doing for a living. Top that off with some water. I used to use like a bigger watering can, but it just made more of a mess because I have the holes at the bottom and they drain through. This way, seems like a little bit more water efficient, not as messy. And, you know, you don't, I mean, make the soil wet and stuff like that, but you soak the seeds, they're soaked all the way through, so as long as this soil's good and moist, it's gonna germinate and come through. So, it's a good last minute thing. You wanna make sure, you know, it seems petty, but let me tell you, trying to pick off seed hulls or, you know, washing them and trying to, you know, clean them up after the fact, it's a heck of a lot more time consuming. And I mean, seed hulls on cilantro actually are kind of tasty. I mean, it's coriander, which is in every chef's kitchen, and people use it quite a bit. So now we'll get to stacking. I only do these about 2 to 3 high. You know, I don't need too much weight on them. Depends on, you know, how much space you have. I mean, I'm going to do about 30 of these today. So a brand new one on here. Germination rack. And there you go. So I'm going to go ahead and I've got, you know, about another 20 more to plant there. And as you can see, that the temperature in the grow room right now is 68, so 45% humidity. And there is the cilantro sitting there. And in about 2 days, 3 days, I'll probably start seeing stuff poke through the soil. That's when I will then put them on one of these plastic bins that gets 10 of them in here. That way I can bottom water them. I will put some covers. These 10-20 trays, I'll use those as blackout lids. I'll do that for about another 5-6 days under blackness until I get them up. You know, they start actually kind of pushing on the lid. Then I put them on under the lights. These are actually started on the 7th. See, I do have some seed hulls on these. I mean, I had like the first pop-up of sprouts came up and it was totally clean, and then sometimes they'll all of a sudden get a second wind and more start growing up. But what I noticed too is that with the split seed, they come off a lot easier. When you go to rinse your stuff afterwards, it will be a great deal that comes off right there. Some of the other stuff that we grow here, or I grow, red acre cabbage on the 11th. And the dates here are when I put this, I either start germinating the seed or put it in the tray. And then, like I said, with like the amaranth, you see how I have the separation with these trays. It's, if I have damping off here, you know, and I was doing a big tray, I mean, sometimes you can get away with saving amaranth by, you know, doing like, you know, like everywhere 3 inches around the damping off, and sometimes you can save the rest. But in my experience, especially with amaranth, that never happens. It just pops up somewhere else. And I notice here that if you keep them physically kind of cordoned off from each other like this, you have less chance that you can lose an entire crop or an entire shelf. I mean, because these are started on the 11th, so we're on the 17th, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 7 days into it. I have, you know, this crop has to go out for sale next Thursday. You know, you need a minimum of like 14 days to get the some of the bigger leaves on the amaranth to get a little bit more height on it, so it, you know, it makes more presence in the mix. You know, if you find out on day 8 that you got a damping off problem, you know, you're screwed. And there you go, there's back there, that's Detroit dark red beet, volcano radish. I got to get more of that going today. That's 7 days. Red acre cabbage. That's a beautiful, you know, purple color right there, and it's nice and hardy. Stands up nice. And then this is ruby red chard. Well, I hope you enjoyed the video. Hit like if you like it. If you don't hit like. I plan on maybe doing some other videos in the future for, I'm just going to do some on radish. that's a super easy one. If you can't grow radish, you should probably hang it up. And I don't know, go into pottery or something. But that's about it. If you have any questions in the comments below, I basically stand around all day working on microgreens and outdoor jobs in the yard. So the one thing with microgreens is it's you know, it's a trudge. You have to get the stuff done when you got to get it done, because everything is very time sensitive. You know, something that's ready in 12 days is not any good by day 16. You know, all of your brassica stuff, you know, I sometimes try that. Oh, do you think I'll maybe get, you know, to the end of the week with that, and then, you know, like, oh yeah, I got plenty, and what ends up happening is you start going into it and it sucks, and so there's all kinds of, you know, lessons. I mean, there's so many growers out there that, you know, they'll cut it and put it in the refrigerator, but I mean, I like to cut it and sell it the same day. So, you know, it's like kind of being true to your word that you're giving them the freshest product possible, and I feel like I'm kind of cheating on them. We're not, you know, just cheating myself, or, you know, that I'm giving them something that I put in the refrigerator 4 days ago because I didn't want to lose it. I'm thinking it's because I was lazy and I didn't plant it, you know, on the day I was supposed to plant it. You know, so I let it go past its prime, missed a week. You know, it's just, you just got to be regimented in what you do, and stick with it. And that's, you know, it's farming, you know, so it's, you know, it's everything, you know, a farmer raising corn has, it just have it every 7 days, you know, 21 days, you know, plant, stack, trim, you know, put it under the lights, pack it, ship it, plant it. And, you know, you're doing this, you know, I have a reminder on my phone every Thursday. I gotta get it, you know, I have to put, you know, 60 trays, you know, well, 60 shelves together, because I have to, you know, deliver. Right now in the winter time it's slower, so I'm doing about probably 15 to 18 pounds a week, you know, because I'm doing about 30, between 30 and 50 packages a week to my distributor. Then I have a couple of other things that I do, especially the cilantro. I do my chef's mix, and I do cilantro right now. So I basically, you know, put a lot of different varieties together. I have mustards, cabbage. I do basically cabbage, kale, amaranth, and some red radish. It gives it a nice purple and green and really nice sexy color, and it stands up, nice little haystack, you know, when you put it on the plate it stands up nice, it's not flat, you know, and it has some body to it, but, you know, really when it comes down to it, you know, it's two products that I do out of here. In the summertime I'll expand that when I go outside to do basil, but you know, that's about it. Anyway, this is Adam, it's Cape Cod Microgreens. Have a great day.